So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Monday morning. Just wanted to come on here right quick and kind of prayerfully inspire you uh, to just pick up yourself and keep going and take care of yourself. And I know you already know that, but sometimes you know what? We got to be told that. Sometimes we got to be reminded to take care of ourselves because we can take care of so many people. We're always trying to, at least, and we forget to take care of ourselves. So on this morning, I just want to share something that was on my heart that someone shared with me. I wasn't even thinking about it, but it was such a reminder that you can't keep giving, keep giving so much of yourself that you forget about yourself. And everybody, this is something important that a friend of mine told me, share with me over this weekend. She said, you need somebody. You're always sharing things and taking care of other people. And I do things outside of just coming on social media and talking and sharing words of inspiration and encouragement, and then having the podcast. And still, mostly people come on and tell their own stories, but there's a lot of, praying with people and just talking with people about different things that they are going through. So it's things that happens in my life outside of just coming on in the mornings. And I'm like everybody else. I'm more than one person, one thing. I'm one person, but I'm more than one thing in life. And so are you. But this friend of mine, when she said that, she said, listen, you need to understand this. You need to understand that all the things that you do, people don't know all the things that you do to try to help others and be there for others and encourage others. But you got to remember, you need somebody too. You need somebody, care if it's one person, that you can throw some things off of and you can talk about and you can share what's going on the inside of you, because guess what? Nobody is perfect. Nobody is this glass window that can't be broken. All of us need somebody to listen to us. And it don't mean a bad thing. It just means that you're human. It just means that you need a listening ear as well. We all have God. This is something she said to me, and it just resonated through me. We all have God. We all can go through to him, but we need humans as well. So, as she was saying, you can't keep pouring out and pouring out and pouring out, and nobody pours back into you. And not that that's what you are looking for, but the main thing is, keep in mind, you are human, and you too need somebody to have a listening ear for you. It brought me back to when my late husband shared something with me that happened to him. And as a pastor of over 32 plus years, he said one of his members asked him, she said to him, You preach and you do all of these things and pastoring and being there for people and taking care of people and listening to people and praying with people. And he really said this. This is like his conversation through my friend this weekend that he shared with me. It's like God sent that message to her to give to me. Because I thought about when he shared that, when the member asked him, out of all these people that can come to you, who do you go to? And she was very sincere. He said, she said, with tears in her eyes, who do you go to? When that was posed to me on this past weekend, who do you go to? You're doing a lot of things that people don't even know because you choose for it to be that way. And I really do. Because what people see, they don't see the entire electorate that really cares, that's really willing to do so many things to share words of inspiration, words of encouragement, praying, and just being an effective listener. And it's not just in my walk in life with God. It's not just that. Even in my place of employment, I deal with young people, a lot of young people in the college system and some older people, but that's my job. And having to move out front to aid in getting those individuals to a comfortable position to make decisions that's going to really benefit them. I want to see everybody grow in life. I want to see everybody have a firm foundation. I want to see everybody believe in themselves. I want to see everybody just be able to move forward in life and say to themselves, I can do this. I can make it. I don't have to give up. This is not the end of my life. People who are sick, I go into those areas to talk to people who are sick, who are in locations where, they not able to take care of themselves right now. And you know what? When I look at that and I wonder who's going to be there for me when I come to the end of my road, well, and I'm not saying dying, I'm saying to the end of my road, to where I can't do the things that I'm able to do right now. Sometimes we get so caught up in life and just enjoying what we can do right now. My technical director, in a million years, wouldn't have thought that she would become disabled to the point where she could no longer practice her counseling. And she worked in the education system just like me, higher ed. And done many other things outside of that. But that's where I met her. And she, I can say, has so many people that comes to her home and help her. A lot of things she can still do on her own because she's still in her own, in her home. But there are things that she's really limited about, such as driving. See, we don't know. And I can tell you, she gave so much of herself, continues to this day. She just do it through social media. She's still tutoring people through social media. Still trying to help somebody. And that's all many of us are trying to do. That's all I want to do. I may never ever meet some of you in my life. But I pray that whatever I do, it helps you, it inspires you, it encourages you to do that next thing. And I'm not trying to take no credit for nothing because I don't have a right to. I just want to be a part in somebody's life that inspired somebody, that left a footprint in somebody's life. That say, you know, Electra said this years ago. That stuff out there that's on YouTube, those videos, those interviews and things that people are saying and sharing their stories, guess what? That's a hidden blessing. I had no clue, but God showed me. Because you are doing and following what I told you to do, you are blessing many people. Not only me, but the people that come on to those interviews and share their stories. And I'm sitting there and I find out just by surprise, because I don't know how that entire YouTube thing worked, and say I have 3,000 people who have viewed those interviews, who have viewed that YouTube site. That is a blessing for all of us because somebody is hearing the interviews and the messages that are being put out there. And everything that's done on Electra James Inspirational Talks is for that purpose, to inspire the lives of others. To somebody that can look at it and say, you know what? That's me. I've been there. I felt like that. I had that experience. And I can understand what somebody's saying. I can understand what it's like to be older and have to take medication. I can understand that. I can understand what it's like to lose a child because I lost my child. I can understand that. I just had that interview last week. Very powerful and emotional interview with that young lady who's lost her child. And now the process is my technical director is helping to get her set up with some counseling, reaching out to people. See, it's a lot of legwork that goes on. You guys, you see people on these social outlets, your pastors and, just people of God, and then just people also who are just motivational speakers or whatever people are doing to try to share with you, to get you to understand that we all are human. We all going through something. We're all facing something. And guess what? We all need somebody to talk to, but we also need somebody that will talk back to us, that will inspire us, that will let us know it's okay to not be okay. Like the young lady said on last week's interview, I had to get to the point where it was okay for me not to be okay. It was okay for me not to try to heal as fast as other people try to want me to heal. I lost my child. And it's hard. And there are many people who maybe you haven't lost a child, but you lost somebody close to you. People cannot just tell you to get over it. Heal at your own pace. Heal at your own pace. Do what you need to do to get through this thing without losing it all. Nobody knows your story. And people will sometimes try to criticize you in your story or try to define the destination of your story. But they have not lived your story. And it's your story. So never be ashamed of telling it. All of us have been through something. I can tell you this. Every interview I have done, every last one of them that I have done on my podcast, their response is, thank you for the opportunity to allowing me to tell my story. Now they think they thankful. I'm thankful. I'm grateful because they want to come on to my platform and share their story. And they say, nobody else ever asked me. That's what Electra James Inspirational Talks is about. Coming on and telling your own story. Because all of us got one. The young lady, which is a friend of my daughter's, a friend of mine's daughter, where she's raising a child that has autism. I got so many people with responses that like somebody finally coming out, everyday person talking about this. They're not talking, not saying anything to try to build me up because that's not about me. Those stories aren't about me. Those are people's stories, real people with real stories that live around the globe that you're hearing from. And when she was telling that story, that next day, not just that night, but even into the next day, people were saying, it's good to hear somebody. I have a child. I get a lady I didn't even know. I'm walking around her every day. Didn't even know that she has a child with autism. Thank you for that. Thank you for having that young lady on. Thank you for that. See, it's not about me. It's about the people who come out and tell their story. And God showed me on last week, 3,000 viewers. 3,000 viewers. That means 3,000 people have heard your story. We got to stop hiding stories. We got to start talking about stuff. We got to stop acting like we got it all together when we don't. Just like every last one of those individuals, my guests who came on, said at the end of those interviews, thank you for allowing me to tell my story. Nobody ever asked me about my story. The couple that came on and talked about the in vitro that they had to do to have their son. Nobody asked them their story. You got a story. Yours deserve to be told just like everybody else's. You don't have to hide your story. And that's my logo. You don't have to hide your story. Stop hiding your story. It's your story. And you definitely don't have to be ashamed of your story because we all done been through something. We all are going through something. We just all trying to keep it all together. Every last one of us. Every last one of us. We got family members who are ill and trying to deal with that. Trying to deal with that person not being that person that I once saw, that I've been seeing all these years. Trying to deal with that. That's in my mental. That's something going on in my life. Trying to deal with that. Trying to wrap my arms around it. You know, I could go on and on and on and telling stories and giving scenarios about things in my own life, just as all of us could. But what I'm saying to you this morning, just as my friend told me on this past weekend, Alexa, you listen to everybody else. You are feeding and sowing into everybody else. You need somebody that you can talk to too, because you are human. And again, it went back to what my late husband said. That member asked him, out of everything that you do, out of all that you give, out of all that you're listening to, who do you go to? And I'm going to tell you, you never think about that. And that's what he said when he was sharing that with me. I never thought about that. I never thought about who I'm going to go to. Who is my go-to? Never thought about that. Because when you are feeding into people, and we do that in different ways, you really don't think about that. All you thinking about constantly is, Lord, thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to prayerfully, by following your will, to prayerfully feed into somebody else's life, to encourage somebody else, to push somebody to go a little further, to inspire the lives of other people. Just to say, I can make it. I can do this. That's a blessing. It's a blessing. That's all that I look for, to see somebody else's life be impacted in a positive way. Once I've prayed with them one-on-one, once I've talked with them one-on-one, consoled with them one-on-one, I'm not looking for anything out of it. I just want them to be okay. I just want them to be okay. That's all I want. That's my prayers. Lord, just let whatever I said this morning or yesterday or whenever I was in situations where I come in contact with others, Lord, just let them be okay. Just let whatever you gave me to give to them be the right thing for them. So I'm not going to go any further this morning. I just wanted to come on here and let you know, if you don't have somebody to talk to, find somebody that you can share with too, that you can talk to too. Because whatever you got on the inside of you that you are pouring out, you need somebody. As my friend told me, you need somebody to listen to you. You can't just keep pouring out and not have something poured back in. All right? I want to, before I get off here, to encourage you all to tune in to Electra James Inspirational Talks on on Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Have 2 interviews tonight. One this Wednesday on the 8th, and then we're going to close out with Mr. Christopher McNeese on the 15th, and he is the one on this Wednesday. December 8th is going to be Miss Sonia Reed, and she's a nurse, has been a nurse for many years. She's going to talk to us about not just the pandemic and the flu season, but she's going to share other information with us and give us some of her background of what she's dealt with as a nurse overall. And look, it's her story. She going to tell it like she wants to. Okay? This is her story. That's why they come on, to tell their story. I don't tell their stories. But that's just a little highlight of what point of discussion. But more things will be discussed. And then we have Christopher McNeese, who's going to come on December 15th. And he's a coach. He's going to be talking about coaching as well as laughing while you learn, because he's also a comedian. So we're going to close this season 2 out on December 15th. And I hope that you can tune in on the YouTube channel. And if you have not subscribed, I'm just asking you, if you can, go on and subscribe if you would like. I would like for you to subscribe, but I understand. And you can also go on there and look at past interviews and these morning talks that I do, because they're also transferred to the YouTube channel. Okay? You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on tomorrow. Bye-bye.